My name is Alex Turner, and the night my parents decided I was old enough, nobody asked me what that actually meant. They never do. It was late June, the kind of summer night where the air sticks to your skin and the sky refuses to go dark, like it's holding onto the day just a little too long. Our kitchen light buzzed the way it always did, flickering every few seconds like it couldn't decide whether to stay on or give up. That light had been broken for years, but no one ever fixed it. It felt symbolic. Even back then, things in our house only got attention when they completely stopped working. My mom stood near the front door, suitcase already zipped, one hand wrapped around the handle like she was afraid it might disappear if she let go. She wore sunglasses even though it was almost 10 at night. She always did that when she wanted to look busy, important, like she was already somewhere else. My dad leaned against the counter, phone in his hand, scrolling through something that made him smirk. He nodded at the screen like it was telling him good news. He didn't look at me once. I sat on the kitchen floor with my back against the fridge, counting the magnets shaped like states. California, Texas, Florida, New York. I noticed Alaska was missing again. It always fell behind the fridge and no one ever bothered to pull it out. That felt familiar too. "We're gonna be late if we don't head out now," my dad said, not to me, just out loud, like announcing the weather. My mom turned toward me and smiled fast, the kind of smile adults use when they want a moment to be over. "You're good, right?" she asked. Before I could answer, she tossed something toward me. I barely caught it. A single, wrinkled $20 bill. "That's for emergencies," she said casually. "Food, whatever, just don't waste it." I stared at the bill in my palm. $20. No envelope. No instructions. No backup. "You can order food if you need to," she added. "You know how the apps work, you're not a baby." Not a baby. I was 11. "You're mature for your age," my dad said without looking up from his phone. "Way more responsible than kids when I was growing up." Responsible. Like this was a compliment and not a warning. I waited for one of them to say something else. Anything, a neighbor's name, a phone number, a plan, but nothing came. My mom stepped forward and kissed the top of my head. It was quick, distracted, like she was already thinking about airport lines and hotel rooms and places where nobody needed her for a while. "We'll be back before you know it," she said. "Couple weeks, maybe a month. Europe isn't forever." Europe. The word sounded big and shiny and far away. It sounded like freedom. The front door opened. Warm night air rushed in. Then the door shut behind them with a solid click that echoed through the hallway. The sound of the suitcase, wheels rolling down the driveway faded. Silence rushed in to replace it. I stood there, alone in the kitchen, staring at the $20 bill in my hand. Money isn't safety. Silence isn't care. "I'll be fine," I said out loud. My voice sounded smaller than I expected. I tried to pretend this was normal, like kids stayed home alone all the time, like this was some test I was supposed to pass. I put the 20 on the counter, right next to the emergency credit card my mom had tossed there earlier like an afterthought. I picked it up. It looked official, shiny, important. That made me feel better, for about 10 minutes. I opened the pantry. That's when reality started tapping me on the shoulder. Half a box of cereal. 2 cans with labels half peeled off. Peanut butter with oil floating on top. Ketchup, mustard, no bread. I checked the fridge. 1 yogurt, expired. Leftovers that smelled weird. An apple with a soft brown spot. I laughed under my breath. "Okay, Alex," I muttered. "Relax, you got this." I poured myself a small bowl of cereal and made a rule right away: eat slow. Chew more. Drink water. Stretch it out. That's what adults did, right? They managed. I tried ordering food on my phone, just to see. I opened the app, picked something cheap, entered the credit card. Declined. I tried again. Declined. I checked the numbers. Perfect. I tried a different app. Declined. That's when the first crack formed in my confidence. I called my mom. Straight to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. I didn't want to sound needy. I didn't want to prove I wasn't as mature as they said I was. I ate my cereal in silence. That night, sleeping felt weird. The house sounded different without them. Every noise felt louder. The fridge humming, the AC clicking on and off, the floor creaking like footsteps that never came. I slept with my door locked. Not because I was scared of someone breaking in. I was scared of how empty everything felt. Day 1 passed. Day 2 felt heavier. I rationed food like I'd seen in movies. Half a sandwich, a spoon of peanut butter, water to fill the space. By day 3, the hunger stopped feeling like pain and started feeling like pressure. Like something sitting behind my eyes, fogging my thoughts. I turned the TV on just to hear voices. I didn't even watch it. I just needed proof that people still existed somewhere. That's when I grabbed a notebook from my backpack. I don't know why I started writing. It just felt important. Not feelings. Vax. Day 3, alone. No calls. Credit card doesn't work. I stared at the words. What if someone asked later? What if nobody believed me? I wrote one word at the top of the page. Evidence. The word made my chest tighten. It felt dramatic, too big. But it also felt right. I opened my phone and recorded a short video. My face looked pale, smaller. Day 3, I whispered. I'm still alone. Food, almost gone. If anyone sees this, it means someone finally asked what happened to me. I stopped recording and locked my phone. Part of me hoped nobody would ever see it. Another part of me hoped my parents would. That night, I sat on the kitchen floor again, back against the fridge, staring at the spot where Alaska should have been. I realized something then. This wasn't just about food. It was about being left behind and told it was independence. About being quiet so adults could feel free. About being trusted with survival, but not worth checking on. And I didn't know it yet, but that realization was the beginning of something dangerous. Because once a kid starts keeping evidence, they're not just trying to survive anymore. They're preparing for consequences. By day 4, the house stopped feeling like my house. It felt like a place I was borrowing. The walls didn't change, the furniture didn't move, but something about the silence felt heavier, like it had learned my name and was using it against me. Every sound echoed longer than it should have. Every shadow felt like it stayed put even when I moved. I woke up that morning to my stomach twisting in on itself. Not pain exactly. More like anger. The kind that simmers instead of screams. I checked my phone first thing, half expecting a missed call, a text, anything that proved someone remembered I existed. Nothing. No good morning. No, you okay? No, we landed. Just a weather notification and a low battery warning. I rolled out of bed and padded into the kitchen. The floor was cold, even though it was summer. I opened the fridge knowing exactly what I'd see. Nothing new. I stood there with the door open, staring, like if I waited long enough something might magically appear. A carton of eggs, a bag of groceries, a note taped to the shelf that said, "Relax, this was all a joke." Instead, the fridge beeped angrily, reminding me I was wasting energy. I shut it. "All right," I said out loud. "Let's think." Thinking felt harder than it used to. I grabbed the notebook again. Day 4. Still alone. Almost no food. I underlined the words twice. I poured myself a glass of water and drank it slow, letting it sit heavy in my stomach. Hunger does this weird thing where it makes you feel full and empty at the same time. Like your body, confused about what it's missing. I tried calling my dad this time. Ring. Ring. Voicemail. I left a message. "Hey, it's me, just checking in. Call me back, okay?" My voice cracked on the word okay. I hated that. I put the phone down and pressed my forehead against the counter. It smelled like cleaner and old coffee. Familiar, comforting, useless. Around noon, the doorbell rang. I jumped so hard I knocked over the chair. For half a second, hope rushed through me so fast it made me dizzy. Mom. Dad. Neighbor. I ran to the door and peeked through the peephole. Delivery guy. I opened it a crack. Alex Turner, he asked. Yeah. Package. My hands shook as I signed. The box was small, light, Amazon logo on the side. I carried it to the table and stared at it like it might explode. Inside was a book. A travel guide to Europe. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was. This was their check-in. This was their thought of me. I flipped it open. Sticky note inside, written in my mom's handwriting. Saw this and thought of you. Be good. Read. I dropped the book on the table. My chest felt tight, like someone had tied a knot behind my ribs and pulled hard. I wasn't hungry anymore. I was furious. That afternoon dragged. Time moved weird when no one was around to notice it passing. I turned on the TV, turned it off, tried reading, couldn't focus. The words swam. By evening, the hunger came back stronger. I searched the couch cushions. Found $3.17 in coins. It felt like winning the lottery and losing it at the same time. I grabbed my hoodie and stepped outside for the first time since they left. The sun was low, the sky streaked orange and pink like it didn't know anything bad was happening. The neighborhood felt normal. Kids riding bikes. A dog barking. Someone grilling. Normal hurt more than empty. I walked to the corner store, counting coins in my pocket like a ritual. The bell above the door chimed when I walked in. The smell of chips and soda hit me so hard my eyes burned. I stood in the aisle for a long time, doing math. Ramen. 1 can of soup. Generic bread. I chose ramen. 4 packs. The cashier didn't look at me twice. That stung too. Back home, I boiled water and ate 1 pack slow, pretending it was more than it was. The salt burned my tongue. I didn't care. That night, I didn't sleep much. I kept thinking about the book. About how easy it was for them to send something without actually checking. That's when I started recording more videos. Not emotional ones. Detailed ones. Dates. Times. Food counts. Missed calls. I hid the notebook under my mattress. Evidence. By day 5, my head felt fuzzy all the time. Sounds came late, like they were delayed. I forgot simple things: where I put my phone, what day it was. I missed a step going down the stairs and almost fell. That scared me more than hunger. I sat on the bottom step for a long time afterward, breathing hard. I can't mess up, I whispered. I can't. That's when I heard it. A knock. Not the doorbell. An actual knock. Soft, careful. My heart slammed so hard, I thought I might throw up. I stood slowly and walked to the door. Hello, I said. It's Mrs. Carter, a voice called. From next door. Relief crashed over me, so fast my knees felt weak. I opened the door. She looked at me, then past me, then back at me again. Sweetheart, she said slowly, are your parents home? Something in her voice made my throat close up. No, I said, they're traveling. Her eyes narrowed just a little. How long? A bit. She studied my face like she was putting together a puzzle she didn't like the picture of. Well, she said, forcing a smile, I made extra lasagna, thought I'd bring some over. She held out the dish. I stared at it like it was gold. Thanks, I said. My voice shook. She didn't leave right away. You doing okay? She asked. The question hung there. Heavy. Loaded. I thought about the notebook. The videos. The $20 bill. I thought about being old enough. I'm fine, I said. She nodded slowly, like she didn't believe me but wasn't ready to push. "All right," she said. "If you need anything, you know where I am." After she left, I locked the door and leaned against it, breathing hard. The lasagna tasted like safety. I ate too much, too fast. Later that night, my phone buzzed. A text. From my mom. "Busy day, everything good." I stared at the screen. My fingers hovered. Everything good. That's what they wanted to hear. That's what kept things easy. I typed back. "Yeah, all good." I hit send. Then I opened my camera and recorded another video. "Day 5, I said quietly. They asked if everything was good, I lied. I stopped recording. The house felt smaller after that. Like it was leaning in. Watching. And for the first time since they left, I understood something clearly. This wasn't just neglect. This was abandonment dressed up as trust. And if they ever came back, they weren't walking into the same house they left. The call came on day 7. Not from my mom. Not from my dad. From a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring twice before answering, my heart already running laps inside my chest. "Hello? Is this Jordan Miles?" a calm voice asked. "Yes." "This is Officer Reynolds with the local police department." The room went quiet around me. Like the house was holding its breath. "We received a welfare check request," he said. "Mind if we talk?" I sat down slowly at the kitchen table. "No," I said, "that's fine." He asked simple questions. Where were my parents? How long had I been alone? Did I have food? Did I feel safe? I answered honestly. For the first time. 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. 2 officers stood outside. Not aggressive, not scary, just serious. Mrs. Carter stood across the street, pretending to water plants that didn't need water. They stepped inside. The taller officer looked around the kitchen. The empty fridge. The ramen cups. The notebook on the table. "What's that?" he asked. "My record," I said. He flipped through it. Dates. Times. Missed calls. Videos. He didn't say anything for a long time. "You did the right thing," he said finally. That sentence hit harder than hunger ever did. They called my parents while I sat on the couch, hands folded, feeling weirdly calm. My mom answered on the second ring. Her voice changed when she realized who it was. My dad got on the call next. There was arguing. Excuses. Words like misunderstanding, and he's mature for his age. The officer's voice stayed steady. "You left a minor alone with limited resources for over a week," he said. "That's not independence, that's neglect." Silence. That night, I didn't sleep at home. I stayed with Mrs. Carter. Her guest room smelled like clean sheets and lavender. She made me grilled cheese and didn't ask too many questions. Before bed, I recorded one last video. "Day 7, I said. Someone finally listened." 2 days later, my parents came back early. They looked tired, angry, defensive. But something had changed. I wasn't scared of them anymore. We sat at the same kitchen table. The same buzzing light. My dad cleared his throat. "We thought you were ready," he said. I looked at him. "Ready for what?" I asked. "To disappear." Neither of them answered. That silence was my answer. Social services got involved. Not dramatic, just firm. Rules. Check-ins. Boundaries. I moved back home, but the house felt different now. Smaller. Honest. Weeks later, school started again. A teacher asked us to write about a time we learned something important. I wrote about being old enough. Not to survive, but to be remembered. The video I made. I never uploaded it. Not yet. It sits on my phone. Proof. Because one day, When someone says, "You're old enough, you'll be fine," I'll know exactly what that really means. And I won't let it happen again.